I'm Dr. Deb Butler, and you are listening to Thinner Peace in Menopause and Beyond. This is episode number 399. Welcome to Thinner Peace in Menopause and Beyond. This is Dr. Deb Butler, Master Life and Weight Coach, and as always, your coach. If you're a woman and you're smart and you're successful and you've been struggling with weight your whole life, and now menopause is making it harder than ever, and you are ready to make this the last time you ever have to go on a diet again, then this podcast is for you. Stay tuned. Hello, all my dear friends all over the world. It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, and I hope it's the same for you too. As the holidays begin again, I want to talk to you about your mindset. And what I believe this podcast, especially this episode, is going to be for is to help you with your mindset, not on January 1st, but today on how to go through the holidays. Because here's what I think happens to most of you who listen to this. If you're anything like I was, I basically would almost say to myself, Deb, I'll see you next year. Almost like I would leave myself so I didn't have to pay attention to what myself was going to do. And I was telling myself, oh, sweetheart, go ahead and do whatever you want. You can eat whatever you want, and we'll worry about it come January. Just go out and have a good time because you deserve it. And basically, I would stop paying attention for 4 to 8 weeks, depending when I decided to think this. But usually it was somewhere before Thanksgiving. Somewhere around there. And I know for many of you, maybe it's around Halloween, but whatever it is, I'm going to offer you this today. What if you decided right now to believe that you can eat whatever you want? And listen, I understand that what I'm saying is what you usually tell yourself is I'm going to leave you, go ahead and eat whatever you want. And it causes a disconnection between your mind and body because you stop paying attention to what you put into it because you think you're doing yourself a favor. But it is a disconnection, which is exactly what I do in all of these podcasts, is to try to help you reconnect your mind and body. And I know that during these holidays, what many of you are going to try to do is disconnect and come back in January to reconnect. And basically, that is called yo-yo dieting because my guess is that's what you do all year long. If you're anything like I was on, I was off. I was always off during the holidays, and I was always on come January 1st. And then depending on what that year was like and what was coming up, when I would disconnect and connect, which led to 20 to 30 pounds of losing and gaining weight for 30 years to a total amount of maybe 250 pounds gained and lost. And what I want to do today with you is save you, wherever you are, is to stop this insanity and do something different this year. And this is what I want you to do different. It's one thing. I want you to believe something different, which is I can eat whatever I want, and I can still be healthy, and I can still be at the weight that I want to be at. Not thinking that I can eat whatever I want, and I know I'm going to gain weight, and I know I'm not going to feel that good, but who cares? Because I'm going to enjoy the heck out of myself because I'm going to be able to eat whatever I want. You see, you think you're doing yourself a favor, but it's really no favor at all. And there's really no enjoyment because, number one, you're probably not paying attention to your body. And overeating, in the end, never feels good. So what I'm going to offer you for this season, number one, is I'm doing a masterclass, especially to address this issue, which is how can you celebrate during the holidays and not gain weight? How can you celebrate during the holidays? And if you want, lose weight, but enjoy yourself more, stay more connected, and still believe that you can eat whatever you want. The question then becomes, what do you want? Now, the way you have to answer that is different than the way you've been answering that, because what you've been answering is, what I want is to be able to eat any food that's in front of me whenever I want, just because it looks good, tastes good, or just because I know I won't be eating it come January 1st, which leads to what I call joy/fog eating or joy/storm eating, which is not paying attention to your body. So how about this year, we decide to really hone in on a true joy eat. What is it like to eat a food that has no nutritious value, that tastes delicious, that you could believe that you could eat it whenever you want, but you also could stop the minute you're through enjoying it, even though your brain does have a dopamine effect and it is a little bit lit up and will urge you to keep eating. That is the dilemma, and that is what I think if you can figure that out, which I'm going to help you with today, I think you would begin January 1, your New Year's resolution, whatever it has to do with your weight. You could actually start now with the idea that there is no better time to learn how to believe that you can eat whatever you want, and you can eat whatever you want, enjoy it bite by bite, and stop the minute you're done, and actually have weight loss come January 1st or stay the same come January 1st, but feel like you're on your way to being connected as opposed to disconnected. Now, have you ever played the game Monopoly? If you have, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, bear with me for a minute. But in Monopoly, there is a get out of jail free card that you can get if you end up in jail in this game. And basically, if you pick this card, you're out. You don't have to do anything. And that's kind of how I see what a lot of us do in our mindsets about the holidays is we think we're getting this get out of jail free card, and we just want to not pay attention to what we're doing and think that we're doing ourselves a favor by putting all of these non-nutritious foods in our mouth because it's the holidays and we're going to wait until next year to get it together. So what if we did not pick this get out of jail free card and decided to pick a card that's not Monopoly, but I'm going to create it right now, the pay attention to everything that goes on body, mind, and soul card. Instead of get out of jail, stop paying attention, pay attention. And the purpose of that would be to feel more free and have more fun during the holidays and feel so much better come January. So in this class that I've created, that's going to be December 6th, 12:30 p.m. Central, I am going to teach you and show you how to do this with Joy Eats. And I'm going to use it along with the other types of eating, fuel eating, storm eating, fog eating. I'm going to teach you all of that, show you how to use it, and then really work with coaching on you and coaching with you on how you can create the proper mindset, what you want to believe starting now that will help you feel more healthy in your body, feel more fit in your body, feel more fit in your mind, and believe that you're having more fun than ever, and believing that you can eat whatever you want. Now, here's the thing about that thought. When you believe that you can eat whatever you want, but you question, what do I want? A lot of times you don't really want to eat cookies all day long, every day. I think most of you don't. I think most of you would prefer to have fuel food most of the time, given the idea, if you didn't have to lose weight, if weight wasn't an issue, it's probably what you would do anyway. I think when we put in our minds that we can't have something or we shouldn't have something, it makes us want it more, eat it more, and disconnect from our bodies more and gain weight. And the whole idea of my Thinner Peace process is to become more mindful about this. So what better time to do it than during the holidays when the first thing you want to do is disconnect? So the way that we're going to start this, we're going to use 3 steps to start this process, and I'm going to go into it at length in this masterclass on how to celebrate the holidays and lose weight. And the way that I'm going to do it is I'm going to teach you a little bit, but mostly what I'm going to do is I'm going to coach you. I'm going to coach you to see what's on your mind and in your mind and help you tweak it, which is what we call managing your mind, so that you can think something similar to what you're thinking, only it's going to get you the result that you want as opposed to the disconnection. So the first thing that you want to do if you want to stay connected to your body during the holidays and have a great result come January 1st is you want to be aware of how hungry you are and how full you are. Now, I have been doing this podcast now for 6 years. I have been all over the world doing this podcast. And for many of you, if you've been listening to my podcast for a while, maybe you noticed that there was 2 years where I was recording in Belize and talking about the Caribbean all the time and looking at it all the time. I've been many, many places while I've been doing this podcast. But what hasn't changed in the 6 years of this podcast is my devotion to you and my devotion to myself to be able to continue to have a strong mind-body connection around food. Now, when you have a strong mind-body connection around food, you also will have a strong mind-body connection around a lot of other things. I just use food as a way of helping you stay connected to your body. I think it's a brilliant idea of using food to bring up what's going on in your head. So during the holidays, the first thing that I want you to do is to notice when you sit down to eat next meal. Like, when do you want to start? The next meal. Not tomorrow, not January 1st, 2025, like wait a year, but today. And our minds almost can't wrap ourselves around it because we're so used to putting it off. Like, I can't do both. I can't stay connected and eat whatever I want. Can't stay connected and truly enjoy myself, as if I'm constantly depriving and restricting myself, which is not enjoyment. But deprivation and restriction is only a feeling that comes from your mind that thinks, I shouldn't eat this, I can't have this, or I'm going to eat as much as I can before January 1st. Those kind of thoughts create disconnection, overeating, and yo-yo dieting. How about here, your first step of, am I hungry and am I full? And how hungry am I? From a -10 to a +10. And how full am I? From a -10 to a +10. And if this is your first podcast that you're listening to and you don't know what I'm talking about, I really recommend you can go back to the first 4 or 5 podcasts where I talk about the hunger scale and the emotional hunger scale. It will really help you. But right now, it's just, do you know when you're hungry and do you know when you're full? And can you eat when you're hungry and can you stop when you're full? Now, that's step number 1 that you're going to do next meal. Step number 2, the next meal, is if you eat when you're hungry and you stop when you're full, you're going to note if you're eating nutritious food, which is fuel for your body, or you're eating joy food, which is non-nutritious food for your body, or it's a combination of a joy fuel meal, a little bit of non-nutritious and a little bit of nutritious food for your meal. But you want to eat when you're hungry and stop when you're full and stay between the twos. Eat at a -2 and stop at a +2. So first you're going to ask yourself, how hungry are you and how full you are? How full am I? And then number 2, you're going to ask yourself, what type of eating am I doing? Now, if it's fuel eating, you're eating between the twos. If it's a fuel joy meal, then you're doing 2 different things with your brain. The first thing you're doing when it's a fuel eat is you're filling up your gas tank or you're filling up your belly to eat between the twos. A joy eat, I'm not as concerned about eating when you're hungry and stopping when you're full as eating it bite by bite and stopping the minute you're through enjoying it, which leads to, if you're doing it correctly, and it takes time, you're not eating as much. You're not trying to fill up your gas tank. It's a mind, almost like a mind connection of enjoyment. And it's connecting to the joy of eating something that tastes good, but not letting your mind run the show with it's so good I can't stop, or it's so good I better eat it all because come January 1st, I'm not going to eat it at all anymore. The mind has funny things around joy foods. So you've got to really watch it. So if it's a joy fuel eat, you're actually going to be using your mind and you're going to be using your mind-body connection. And if it's just a fuel eat, it's just a mind-body connection eating between the twos. Now, I think during the holidays, it's a beautiful time to learn how to combine a joy fuel meal without creating a fog or a storm. I don't think there's a better time to do it than when there's more opportunities of a lot more joy eating around, a lot more social eating around, and a lot more emotional eating and emotions around because of what the holidays bring up for all of you. It's not always joy, joy. It brings up a lot of negative emotion too. Are you willing to be able to look at that during the holidays to notice that sometimes you're eating, and this is step number 3, that sometimes you're eating when you're not hungry at all because there's a strong emotion that's driving the eating. Very, very different than eating because you're hungry and stopping when you're full. But sadness, sometimes many people feel sadness in their gut too. And it's very similar to the physical sensation of hunger for some people. Many emotions show up physically in the gut, and it's not physical hunger. Wouldn't this be a fantastic time to see if you can figure out the difference? Now, a lot of times my clients will say to me, well, I don't know what I'm feeling. Sometimes you're not going to know what you're feeling. Sometimes all you're feeling is an urge, which is emotional hunger, very different from sadness or anger, but it's still a feeling inside that you still may feel in your gut, just seeing something and wanting something. And these urges are very important to look at because sometimes they're really strong and sometimes they're really weak. On the weaker urges, can you notice them? Can you allow yourself to feel them without giving in to them and putting something in your mouth that you would rather not be eating? How about use the holidays to test it out? The worst thing that'll happen is you'll give in to an urge and you'll eat it, which is what you were going to do anyway. But the best thing that can happen is 2 things. Number 1, you can become aware, oh my gosh, that's an urge and it's really strong. Or you can notice the urge and how strong it is, and you can let yourself feel it and not eat it at all. And I will bet you, given the time during the holidays, that you can have many moments where you feel it and you don't feel it, which really prepares you. So, are you ready to get into it this holiday? Forget the get out of jail free pass and decide to stay with yourself no matter what. Decide to say, this is the year I don't leave you. This is the year I become your best friend. Best friend meaning I don't let you indulge. Best friend meaning that I stop you when I see that you're overeating, and I do it out of love. Because there's nobody that I can love more than myself and care about what happens to me in my body. Self-love. There's a lot to be said about it. It seems so much easier that when we love somebody else and we want to take care of them, it seems so much easier to do. But this holiday season, I'm saying, put yourself there first. do your self-care first. What do you need at any given time? It's a great question to ask yourself first thing in the morning. What do you need, sweetheart, during this season? What would help you? What would help you enjoy it more? And what would help you stay more connected to yourself? Now, I hope this has been helpful. And since I'm doing this class on December 6th, if you want more than what I'm telling you right now and you want to sign up for it, all you have to do is go to drdebbutler.com/celebrate. You can sign up. You can find the times. You can find the details. I'm giving it in an insanely inexpensive price. And I believe you can gain so much out of it if you can change your mindset around the holidays. So all you have to do is go to drdebbutler.com/celebrate. And I would love to see you on December 6th to either coach you or for you to listen to me coach other people. Either way, you win. And as always, I would never end this podcast without saying to you, no matter where you go and no matter who you're with, especially during this holiday season, please, please, please be very, very kind to yourself, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye. If you're loving my podcast and you would like some more information to be able to follow along with, then please go to drdebbutler.com/change, and you can get a free copy of my companion book that goes with this podcast that I refer to in many different episodes. That is drdebbutler.com/change, CHANGE.